who has an interview with CLG's AD carry.
Starts. Scripted. All right. I am joined by Stix8. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Great cast on the day. Kobe and Dom, you guys just keeping them going very long, but you guys had a help in that as well. A little over 40 minutes. The game looked semi-clean, semi-scary at points. What were the comms during the game so you guys know you could get back to the other Nexus?
They were pretty hectic, to be honest. We were pretty, like, I'll say, like, this week we had pretty bad practice. We were all, like, pretty jet-lagged coming back from IM. And so our practice wasn't the best, and kind of showed on stage this week, but I think we'll step it up for next week.
Well, that always comes a learning experience, more travel, you know, to kind of differ the situation. Coming back, looking at the final games, there are a few difficult ones in them. How are you feeling about the final week of LCS coming in so far?
I think the final week we play Energy and Dignitas, right? So I think we're all pretty confident about those. We lost to Dignitas last time, but I think we'll do a better job this time. And Energy beat them, so we're just looking at 2-0.
And I want to actually touch on yesterday's game real quickly. Everybody was kind of wondering, there's been a lot of tanks to the top lane, and CLG always doing something different, always trying to kind of promote something new. The Yasuo pick and a Nautilus, was this kind of Zion saying, I want to try this, or was it something you guys were looking to make work?
Well, it was a thing we had practiced, but we hadn't practiced a ton, so we kind of went in, you know, we were just like, all right, Nautilus loses to Yasuo. But we only knew, like, the laning phase. We didn't know about after. And that's when we kind of got messed up. So, yeah, we just weren't, like, as prepared as we could have been.
Right on. Stix8, thank you very much for the interview. Congratulations on the win. Hopefully the guys can continue to do good going into week 9. No worries. We're going to throw it down to the analyst desk to break down the rest of that one. Stick with us.
Thank you very much, Riv. Another tough win for one of our top teams there. Again, just like Immortals, you would have expected CLG to have a cleaner victory there, and they struggled yesterday, obviously, in their loss against Liquid. So some stuff to get into there, but I also want to turn an eye towards Fox, who now find themselves 2 games back from playoff position with only 2 games to go. They can catch either Energy or Liquid. I mean, starting things off, Echo Fox, they picked up a couple early kills. Things looked like if they could play it cleanly from there, they might be able to take this upset victory.
Yeah, Hard played really well in the early game. In the contesting the red buff, he played really aggressive, knowing he had the Lulu to back him up. He was able to get a couple kills there, control the buffs, and it looked like things were going well for, you know, Echo Fox early, and then they start getting picked off around the map. The TF starts opening things up, and then Keith himself just had some misplays.
Yeah, Keith just going forward pretty much constantly every time he got Lulu buffs on him. Not every Lulu buff as well. And then Big was also retreating and putting Morgana shields on himself as opposed to onto Keith. They did fix it later in the game, though. He was black shielding him, but then it was still too much aggression there. KFO was also, like, he's the frontliner. And in Lulu compositions, sometimes your AD carry is becoming the frontliner, but there's just so much damage on the CLG squad that they drafted that if you leave him without a frontliner, without KFO there, then he's just going to get annihilated very quickly, and we saw that happen time and time again.
Yeah, there's like a balancing act when you have a Lulu-Lucian comp, where like the Lulu and Lucian want to play really aggressive, and then the team needs to support him correctly with like Morgana shields, and sometimes you don't know if it's the Lucian losing his mind or if it's the rest of the team not following up on what is the right play.
Right, so definitely a lot of communication has to fall into place in order to be successful with that kind of a team comp. But you hit on a point in that CLG had a lot of damage built into their comp. And when we see Darshan continue to go for these aggressive top laners, the Yasuo, which didn't work out yesterday, but the Graves today as well. So when we continue to look at his evolving pool of champions in the top lane that he's happy to play and split push aggressively on, with the CS advantage that he built and the kills that he picked up, we saw some insane amounts of damage coming across from that Graves, particularly with the build that he went with. It seemed to maximize the amount of damage that champion could put out here.
I am a really big fan of Death's Dance into Phantom Dancer because it's just so much damage reduction, and one of them is a buff on yourself, and the other one is the debuff on another person. So you actually get both, and they don't stack multiplicatively, or they don't diminish each other.
Right.
So it's a lot of damage reduction. You get lifesteal. You're able to actually chase people down, and the 45% attack speed on Phantom Dancer is a lot for his reloads, and it gives you this really good feel when you're in the middle of a fight that you have this really good cadence to your auto attacks. Right. It doesn't feel as clunky anymore. Well, and then the crit comes in too.
Yeah, it feels really nice because you can auto attack pretty consistently, but it's not too quick for you that you have to be like a mechanical god in order to keep up your auto attacks.
So it's why it's for you, yeah.
It's a great champion for players like me. But yeah, ultimately a fantastic build for him there. We saw him become a split-pushing threat in the top lane around that 5th dragon, and that put Echo Fox into a very tricky situation where they had to decide whether or not they're going to engage. Big gets caught out a little bit, and then there you have it, a 1 fight for CLG. All in all, though, I think the big thing here is that CLG still didn't look fabulous. Stixay pointed at it. They were jet lagged, so maybe it is just that recoupment time that they need coming back from IEM. But there's got to be some concerns with how poorly might be the wrong word, how unimpressive they were at IEM, then coupled with this week. That's 2 worrisome weeks there for CLG moving into the postseason.
Yeah, I think that CLG, they definitely have a lot of work to do, and people are kind of figuring them out in a way where they seem to really enjoy 1-3-1ing and bringing double TP, which they didn't actually do yesterday. They didn't bring double TP onto Hoopy, which I thought was actually a mistake because that Baron happened against Liquid, where they could have used another TP.
Right.
But this squad likes to operate with double TP and split push, and people are kind of drafting around that now.
Yeah, there's enough. Everyone likes to say that CLG is split push only, and like you can kind of comp around that, and it's true to an extent. But there are a lot of other split pushers, like a Trundle, who is both tanky and a split pusher. You can play other styles, but I think there's enough champs for Darshan to stick with this. But they are just looking like they're getting figured out by other teams. Not like the actual play style has a problem.
Right. Yeah, there definitely seems to be a deep enough champion pool to support it. We'll see, though, if they can evolve their strategies in the last remaining week.